Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back out here for Game 2 in the final series of St. Peter Claver College versus Chisholm Maroon. Game 1 was an exciting match. We're out here Game 2. Let's see what happens.
I couldn't have said it better myself. There we go. And before we jump into the second game of the grand final, I want to thank a huge thank you to everyone here at Chisholm Catholic College for putting on the Chisholm Invitational alongside the biggest sponsor, and a huge thanks to Lenovo Legion for helping us out, not only with the PCs, but also the fantastic prizes. I think you're wearing one of the hats, right, from the Let Me Shout competition, so he's already on it. Plus, is the mouse any good? Have you tried the mouse?
Good, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Decent stuff.
And alongside that, we have the prizes that will come through for the winning side. So a headset, mice, and a keyboard for 5 players of the winning side. And I mean, with further ado, I don't know if I want to keep the people at home waiting any longer.
No.
I think we want to jump straight into this. I'm ready to when you are. And obviously, we are both got a little bit biased on either side here. So it's going to be So who do you think is going to win?
SPCC.
Okay, I think
dominating that game 1. What can you argue against?
Hey, look. I think SPCC did really, really well there. But again, a lot of the thanks has to go on to Master Knight.
Just absolutely dominated. Yep.
It is the strongest player, especially with Phoenix Cred applying a lot of pressure onto that mid lane. And the Trinity and the Nico band back to back. Why is asking you, why is SPCC so afraid of Nico?
Well, it's just comfort pick, and they just don't want our top lane carry to have a bad matchup.
Yeah. There you go. The Darius and the Shaco being banned out, and then the Mordekaiser coming in last second, so definitely didn't want Master Knight on that. We'll see whether...
I feel like he can just pick Urgo again.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like there's no point for that Shaco ban, really. I would have liked to see the Alistair, because last play of the game, Alistair really popped off with that combo down.
Yeah.
But instead of defaulting to the Aatrox, he's gone for the Aatrox instead.
A relatively safe pick there in the top lane, and with that, Waffle Wizard will be able to respond with a counter pick, whatever he deems to, whatever he wants. But yeah, so I mean, a very good, strong pick, Aatrox. You know, it can really benefit that team comp a lot. And as you said, the Alistar. The only thing would be is if SPCC managed to grab that Alistar either first, because then if they don't grab that and they don't swap, if they have another potential pick that they want to go off, then they kind of lose out, because Chisholm Maroon could potentially steal it away, or it could potentially get banned in the second phase.
I see Vladimir coming out from Maroon. Interesting to see what they'll draft around that. I would presume that could go to the mid lane or top lane. Massive flex pick there.
Yeah.
Could see top side because big Aatrox counter. However, we see the Rammus come out here. Quite interesting pick.
A Rammus being grabbed. Yeah, it's very interesting, especially with Volibear still being up. Olive has decided to go for that Rammus, trying to stop anything. And I believe that Shen will be going bot lane.
Yeah.
So after all of SPCC's hate towards Shen, they're willing to dip their hands into the mud and play the champion that they hate.
They're like, hey, we hit this. We'll get you guys here this as well.
It's if it's broken, why not play it?
Because I feel like it's very useful, especially when they're finally versing a much harder opponent. Because they struggled a lot, evidently struggled a lot more with Maroon than Aquinas.
Yeah.
So I think Shen able, if they're focused topside this time, Shen just odds, and there's a lot more pressure there instead. Because no one else would normally TP top. You only have TP mid.
Yeah.
Normally, as we can see from here in purple, normally gets TP, but. SBCC normally likes to go for combat summons, so that happens.
Yeah, that Shen being taken away, and then we'll see what else can happen here. The Leona being banned out as well, taking one more support away. It's a little bit of a unique ban there, considering I don't know if they really know that Shen was going into that support role. They may have thought something differently there. But again, I mean, at the same point, SPCC made the same mistake in one of their first games against Aquinas as well. They banned out, I think it was again Leona when the support had already been picked, and a counter of a Morgana ban there on the side of SPCC. I mean, interesting. I mean, with Leona already banned, I mean, there is quite a bit of CC coming out from there, but kind of you go for that Morgana. If Leona's already banned, you kind of would leave Morgana up in that cis.
No, you would think because Morgana is just so effective against the amount of CC they have.
Yeah.
Put down a carry, even especially Vladimir, he's got invulnerability and then a shield. You can't CC
Yes.
And they're going to struggle to find a pick until Vladimir. So Morgana's a good effective pick here. Oh, man.
Yeah, and Yumi being banned out.
Good old kitten.
Yeah.
Good old cat. What old floating book.
No one wants to play against Yumi, not even Yumi players. So that being banned out. However, the Aphelios, which was, a
Quite
huge,
effective pick.
quite effective
for
there.
Retro.
Definitely
We're coming out again.
interesting that they decided to ban two supports away and still left. Aphelios, which definitely traded very well with the bot lane there. They must be pretty certain on their skill ability there.
This bot lane really didn't go too bad. It wasn't a weak point for Chisholm, really.
Yeah.
They're just hard focused around top side.
Kha'Zix is still up, however, we'll see if that gets picked. But however,
That's
going
great.
into a Rammus, that is a little bit of a difficult laning.
I
Oh,
would
not
think-
Kha'Zix isn't up, actually.
I think Kane. I think you
Kane,
meant
yes,
Kane.
Kane.
Because that's what presumably Phoenix Cred would probably play.
Yeah.
And
But does Shaker not found own Kane?
no, you actually owns Nunu instead. He ended up got to pick Nunu. Interesting pick up here from SPCC.
Alright, calling it now. Lissandra support, Nunu mid, Aatrox jungle, Shen top.
That's absurd. Let's see if it works. Who knows? They're capable of putting random stuff together.
Yeah, and the Ezreal, just a really good pick there. Obviously, with the Essence Reaver, 80 carry meta at the moment. Definitely one champion that tends to lend himself into that. And a Nami being grabbed. So, brilliant disengage, a nice little bit of CC there, as well as some healing. Going to maybe struggle if caught out by the Shen, but looking at that bot lane, it's just kind of pokey. Aphelios Nami should never really get into the range of the Shen, hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, it's just depending how it goes. I would expect Ezreal and Shen to just play safe. Let Shen hit 6. Use that immense power of that Shen ultimate to see how it can impact the rest of the map. I feel like Chisholm is going to play a higher points and timing on that Shen ult. So they're going to try whatever they do with that Rammus. Try getting bot lane.
Yeah.
Try to hopefully freeze around like the second terrain wall on their side. So make sure that Rammus can get some good ganks, alleviate that Shen, make sure that Maroon can somehow get ahead before Shen hits that crucial level 6 mark.
Yeah, and both sides have opted, I would argue, that they've gone a little bit more defensively than the previous game, which was a little bit more offensive. Definitely you do have capabilities like Aatrox, like Ezreal, that can play offensive, but even Ezreal is more built to be defensive than anything nowadays. And on the side of Chisholm Maroon, looking at the LeBlanc, looking at the Aphelios there, two targets that when they get big, they get big. I noticed that, the Lissandra, we have seen another Lissandra pick today. The ult wasn't really used a lot to, to create those ganking possibilities. Usually because when I saw it, he didn't have any mana. So you can't ult when you don't have any mana. And also a huge objective control coming from that Nunu.
Just like Q Smart, you really can't contest that.
Exactly. So whether we will see, that come through the early Drakes as well. Something that was SPCC's, they give up those early objectives, like you said. But on a Nunu, necessarily you don't really need that. You don't need to give them up. You can kind of contest it.
Especially with their bot lane, as I said before, Chisholm trying to force their enemy bot lane to push up, just so that Rammus can get through. That could allow roaming potential for SBC's bot lane to secure that first Drake, and it would be a big difference that they have been playing since all day.
Yeah. And definitely Hayline Purple is known to play those more defensive orientated
roaming champs.
Yeah. Those champions that aren't the biggest playmakers, but what they are is they wait for help. Again, like the Annie I saw on Thursday, those champions that, although on their own can do a lot of damage, work best when they're working around another team member. And as well, a very defensive pick due to the fact that you can just disengage from situations very easily.
I also feel like they also use Ham Purple's effectiveness and roaming, because if you look before, with Frostlord, he's a more selfish player. He demands a lot of resources. But they're trying to focus more into either the bot side, because that's what you can describe his playstyle, because he has an Echo.
Yeah.
Lissandra does not need that much resources,
Yeah.
so they can force supply it to other members of their team.
Yeah, with an inbuilt kit which centered around CC, Yeah, as you said, a lot less resources need to go to that. However, there is a little bit of resource heavy that needs to go into that Ezreal. So even if the Lissandra needs to funnel that into it, the Ezreal definitely needs his items to hit those power spikes. And Ezreal without items is just a man with an unjeweled Infinity Gauntlet. It doesn't do much.
It's just you're like a rock out here being hit by little dust.
Yes.
Particles, pretty much what happens.
Yeah, Ezreal definitely needs those item power spikes. So once he does get them, whether we see he go for a Trinity Force route or whether he takes the more defensive Iceborne Gauntlet and Death Dance route, which, I mean, might be a little bit better there just due to the fact that he could get caught out by the LeBlanc and the Death Dance. Reducing damage could definitely be useful. And then obviously the lane, which, I mean, all eyes are on pretty much, that top lane. Vladimir versus Aatrox, definitely a comfort pick on both sides. I mean, Master Knight has shown that he can play a lot of different champions up in the top lane. And Vladimir being a staple pick there for Waffle Wizard. So we'll see how that can interact there. Interesting that Nunu on Phoenix Cred has opted to go for Phase Rush as opposed to, say, an Aftershock. So going for that more early engaging or more that, the early catching potential with Phase Rush and the early damage as opposed to looking for potential, damage negation coming out from those bursty champions.
Because I feel like SBCC, all their champions have massive agency, and that's what they're looking for a team. On the side of Chisholm, it's a lot more agency for in the team play as together.
Yeah.
On the other side, it's more it's individual play.
Yeah.
So that's what I expect from like massive skill compared to teamwork.
Yeah.
So the side of like Chisholm, he's got the Vladimir team fights really. That's what they're looking for. Then they could put the LeBlanc on split push duty. They're quite creating an immense pressure with the Lissandra cannot pressure, especially even the Aatrox, unless it's insanely fed, which we have seen, but. It's what you expect because LeBlanc is such a big split pusher.
Yeah.
And that's something the Ezreal or Lissandra has to worry about. Well, Lissandra not so much because she has the ult.
Yeah. Pings going out very early, a deep ward from SPCC to basically let them know that Rammus is not starting blue, he is starting red, and Master Knight looks like he will get some information there. There is a ward, or at least vision being dropped, and he will throw a ward there, so they are aware about where Rammus is starting. So I mean, Nunu can use that information as he will. He might invade there onto the blue side. He is pretty easy at taking those buffs, or whether they will just do a counter swap.
I feel like having a vertical map would very much put Chisholm at a disadvantage because they want to play both sides.
Yeah.
Is if like for example SBC just camps the bot lane, they just lost a massive win condition out here in the bot lane.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, simple trading going back and forward. Ezreal opting to go for the biscuit route, so wants more survivability in the lane there, a lot more regen. And then we've just seen Phoenix Cred with, taking a buff, putting the ward down, going back, grabbing Sweeper, and then rotating around. So, and again, Nunu is one of those champions that has a very safe jungle route. Unless he's invaded by, say, like a Graze or something like that, you don't need to really worry too much.
If the Nunu is not very well aware of his jungle pathing, because what Nunu is like do buff Raptors into the other buff and then Wolves. It's just depending on one matchup. So I think right now he's really pathing towards that top side because they realize if you look into the skill, Ram is going to get top whole bot.
Yeah.
He's deciding, alright, bot lane, you're not going to be at risk right now because Ram is not going to do much level 3.
Yeah.
So it's like, alright, let me go top and see if he might gank the Aatrox because Aatrox into Vlad, Aatrox is going to push that lane.
Yeah, and I mean, it could go either way. We did see some freezing potential come out of Waffle Wizard there. So we'll see how that one goes. I mean, Vlad is notoriously one of the better CSs just due to how his Q works. With that, a lot of inbuilt sustain. Vladimir getting maybe caught out here. The chain pulling him back, but a brilliant pull just negating all of that. It doesn't matter when you can't get hit there. And a nice Nami heal hitting the two of them. But there is a little bit of a level discrepancy there. One level advantage actually on top and bot as mid lane goes the same there. A very interesting take there on Nunu. Just kind of, I think, checking the Raptors, just trying to get any information off where potentially Rammus could be. But Rammus also someone who has a surprising amount of wave clear, especially on those larger camps, with his defensive curl, being able to basically hurt everyone.
So I see Ramis finally coming down the ball and paying attention. However, Nunu's completely shadowing him.
Yeah.
So probably looking for the counter gank. However, Ramis is still trying. Maybe he can force out Shen's roaming through the river. We'll spot the Ramis. See what happens. The fight might ensue. Trading until the mid lane around here. Stuns root. Nothing much happens else from it as the Shen roams back down bot.
Yeah, the Nunu sitting bot side as well. Definitely realizing after the mistake of last game as some more trading happens there, but a nice pull by Waffle Wizard will just negate a lot of that damage as the empowered Q comes out. And I mean, I think he's just toying with Master Knight at this stage.
I feel like Vlad was such a good pick. It was like, I lose trades. I'm not, because he's a superior trader. I was like, why not just not even get hit?
Yeah.
So it's
Just and going into that team as well, you can use that pull on so many different ways. The Nunu, if the Nunu goes to gank you, you can really easily just get rid of that. And there is a flash from Master Knight, but he did not realize that the pull was still up. Master Knight might have to pay for that one. I mean, that's what we were just saying. That pull is just
untargetable.
Oh my lord, Master Knight just getting a little bit caught out there.
I feel like he does not respect that pull enough because amount of times miss real, however, Nunu going in does not, as LeBlanc manages. No, Ramis manages to escape.
Ramis, definitely looking for a potential gank there. I think mid is going to be the hardest lane to gank from any side. Just the fact that both of them have just a dash. As well, I mean, at least on the side of Lissandra, you do need to wait that period. So if you can CC her long enough and wait that period out, it's useless. But LeBlanc can just disappear.
Well, for that's just a trade. Lissandra CC the setup. Doesn't take time, but escape does. Vice versa with LeBlanc. CC takes forever to set up.
Yeah, and looking at the CS discrepancy as well, that's 44 CS in the mid lane to 27 on Lissandra. So Haim Purple is getting put into a little bit of their place at the moment, out of mana as well. And unfortunately, I mean, Lissandra lost her old passive, which would have helped with that mana situation there. As Shen is just taking a little bit of a beating. Aphelios is out of mana as well, so not too much, but the EQ missing there as Nami hits a nice bubble into a heal and a little bit of a bounce there. Nunu's just coasting by. just in case. You know, started there, then went around going to his Krugs. The first Drake will be a Cloud Drake, so, I mean, not too useful on these. There's no real big ultimates. Oh, well, I guess the Shen would kind of be the only really big ultimate I'd look at even that being really useful on in terms of how long that cooldown is and how effective that 10% CDR is. But besides from that, there's not too much happening there. Definitely a slower paced game.
I think, because it was slower paced, I think when you compare that, if this was the last game of the team comps, Chisholm would be benefiting right now. However, they full on did a 180 of the comp. It's complete early game. Pre-6, they have not done anything. That is really bad for them. But positive training have gone through the mid lane, however, that's not going to work when SBCC finally scales up. So they should be really doing something before that Shen hits 6, and Lissandra 9-6 has a lot more roam potential.
Yeah. Definitely looking at it though, I mean, Aphelios is good early, but then kind of falls off mid-game. And then if it gets to a late game, the Aphelios late game is absolutely brutal, being able to switch between 4 weapons at once.
It's just called 200 years, you can't deal with it.
Yeah, there's too many weapons to keep a track of. And I mean, at the end of the day as well, Rammus is someone who just scales with armor. Being able to potentially catch that Ezreal and just have him auto himself to death is very scary. But then you look at that Ezreal as well. Him having more items, the Aatrox getting more items as well to hit that mid-game power spike. And then Shen as well, when you get the level 3 ultimate at 16, that just the cooldown potential of it becomes so incredibly important.
I feel like...
And there's an early Drake,
we were talking about,
an 8-minute Drake there. However, he might get caught out. The Ignite has gone down, forcing a flash. That was almost the first blood there. Lissandra not going to be able to hit any abilities as Rammus speeds himself down there as Nunu forced to flash, but that phase rush proving to be so beneficial. The ultimate from Vladimir coming out, plus the pull there to stop anything. But the aftershock, which is something I forgot to mention, coming out from Lissandra. So basically saying that I know that you're going to do damage. I'm going to do my best to stall you in lane as long as possible. I'm going to be able to take that damage. I might not be able to do anything, but I will CC your team.
Let's see now. Aphelios, really good weapons right now. You're looking for, well, you see the crescendum.
Yep.
Any weapon, that thing's broken, especially the Severum, Infernum, or Calibrum.
Yeah.
Massive. Well, but he should just use Calibrum. Now he has to cycle weapons.
Yeah.
It's a period of time where I think SBC can punish the Chisholm bot lane now, especially with the ult and TP that Master Knight still has.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting to see the scaling potential as well in the bot lane. Ezreal hasn't gone back to grab a tier, even though you shouldn't grab tier on the first back. And then
I think there's two ways you do it. Tier instantly, the moment you get it,
Yeah.
or you wait out to get that Sheen.
Yeah.
So I think he might be wearing Sheen, or
Yeah.
he might have just forgotten because, well, so I think Ophelia is doing great here with the cold bar here.
Yeah.
With the stack is there's not really much pressure.
And then at the same time, they're not really on par. They're sure they're on par on CS, but just due to the cull, Aphelios is going to have a significant amount more gold on his first back when we see it.
Especially without the tier, it's still going to stack, so it's going to come in later. The extra damage, like the Mirror Mana to Mana Immune upgrade is massive.
The Rammus using his Q to get into position. Heian Pebble has enough mana to get out of there, but that Aftershock as well, if he's able to hit it, will negate a lot of damage. But there is not a gank coming from Rammus. Definitely slower on the terms of, SPCC as Phoenix gets caught out trying to do a little bit of a Herald push there. The Skirmisher's Blade, interesting choice. Going for the damage negation, even though, the Chilling Smite may have been a little bit better. The Challenging Smite,
I feel like Chisholm lost their opportunity. I would have loved to see that Rammus pick when it's drafted. Brilliant pick. Although it has really not gone into fruition because that Rammus has he pulled off a single gank this whole game? I quite haven't seen that because that's the power of Rammus. He should be ganking almost every second because he can go from bot to top in 10 seconds. Because of his board. That's why it should be giving SPC a lot of trouble right now. However, it has not been capitalized on. Might be due to his inexperience, but I would love to have seen that Rammus do more. So I would be worried for Chisholm fans right now.
Yeah, the Mana Immune also grabbed on the Ezreal, so he has gone his first back. As Infinity Edge is the components have been bought there. The Shaco not found, taking down the red tower, the red ward there. As Aphelios flashes forward, but a beautiful flash taunt comes out of. I thought that was an Ashe W. As Aphelios is trying to look for a kill there, but the Shen ultimate, he might be able to find one last kill there, but a double kill turning around in the Ezreal. That's the Nunu there. He was able to get a gank off. Really, really nice there, focusing down it. And I will be 100% honest with you. I thought that Ezreal ult was an Ashe E, and I was like, where did Ashe come from? But yeah, some skins are a little bit confusing.
Well, I would be really mad at that as a villager. Now, that Ezreal lived on 1 HP. I think twice. I'd be please. Yeah. Please just die.
Yeah, he has played a little bit more defensive compared to last game, so I think he has learned his lesson, playing a lot.
I think because they got crushed last game. However, I do not think bot lane was their problem.
Yeah,
they should have focused hard more. SBC would have been way overconfident. They could have just punished that overconfidence. Yeah, but I've not because Chisholm just played laid back, trying to stall out. However, they got the wrong team comp for that.
Yeah,
as Aatrox comes in here. Misses the Q because the W's not pull Vladimir back as he manages to escape. This goes back in, however.
The cooldown on those abilities is ridiculous. Only with 10 or 20% at the moment, as far as I can see. You might have runes that tell him otherwise there. But yeah, the Ezreal slowly stacking back up. Definitely something you didn't want to happen there. The 2 kills on the Ezreal has pushed the power spike in a different way there. But for, this game, it is significantly, slower as well. A nice knock-up, however, coming out from Master Knight. Whether he would have popped that ult to go in, Vlad was low and his ultimate was down as well. So that was a possibility, but decided to play a little bit more cautious there. As LeBlanc and Rammus find their way into the bottom side here, a nice knock-up from Nami, but stopping any engage from really happening. There's more farming happening around the map here. It is an Infernal Drake straight up as the Vladimir ult comes down, but followed up by the ult from Aatrox. So just going to trade ult for ult, trying to really stop some of that damage from coming out. The Rammus not finding real too much purchase there with that Q as LeBlanc wanders on down.
I feel like, especially with Drake coming out, Vlad's forced use of that ultimate really puts the team at a disadvantage because Aatrox is a selfish ult. Vladimir that's the team, or that's the big play he needs.
Yeah.
Well, he just lost that massive agency, so Chisholm most likely going to forfeit that Drake pressure.
Yeah,
and
just give up that second dragon. We'll see. Hopefully, we don't see a mountain drake. We've been seeing that one all day. I want to see an ocean drake. Ocean drake would be absolutely huge, and it
Ocean
will
Drake
be an
and
ocean
Nunu,
drake.
I don't want to see that. That's just you can't kill the can't
Yes.
kill the poor champion.
Yeah.
Literally at all.
Ocean Drake is difficult on. I mean, Ocean Soul makes any team a lot scarier. Just that health
Extra
regen.
survivability.
Yeah.
Assassins almost become useless
Yeah.
if they're not fed really. So you see 2 kills, or only 2 kills in this moment. You feel really bad for Chisholm because you're an early game team. You have the LeBlanc, and then you have the Ramis. They have no pressure, and Vlad and Aphelios are not going to scale well into like an Ezreal,
Yeah.
a Nunu, or an Aatrox. So there's not much. So I would have, and that LeBlanc can no longer really split push as him purple goes in here. Good trade out
Yeah,
here,
the
forcing the
aftershock
deception
showing-
could probably kill. Well,
The aftershock showing why he took that. It negated so much damage there. The Nunu coming out, but he's not going to be able to find anything there. I wonder if the LeBlanc goes
was
back, and
lucky.
there we go. Manages to find a kill.
But
But
the electrocute receives the trade. That was clean from LeBlanc.
Yeah.
The electrocute says, not today.
Electrocute, yeah. I don't know how Lissandra managed to get that last little bit there, but the Shen
Shen
ult
ult.
coming down onto the top lane. There is a lot of damage. Fraser Rush being burst as Waffle Wizard can't really do much against that much CC. And if I was Chisholm right now, I would push this bot side. You'd know that he's not going to be there. However, Nunu is just around, and it might come down to the fact that Olive Tree just hasn't
is
been
in the top
ganking.
lane.
Yeah, it
I
hasn't.
don't know why he's on top. He should be in the ball lane right now. He
Yeah.
knows the top lane's going to fight. He cannot help. He's all the way at the tower, so he should be roaming that ball right now.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I've been critical of Olive Tree this whole game because he should be doing stuff with that rabbit.
Yeah.
It's a massive pick. You counter that Nunu hard in getting potential. So he really hasn't used another utility at all. So we'll have to see how Chisholm approaches game further on as this game continues.
Yeah, and there will be first tower taken down by Master Knight in the top lane, which will open him up to, ganking other lanes there. As, Odd just grabbed his first kill, so closer to getting that, I assume it will be a Luden's Echo, their first item. And, even though LeBlanc is that early game, she does have a lot of power. She definitely spikes more in the mid game once she gets a couple items underneath her belt and that damage is amplified. That's where I'm starting to look at it, being like, okay, cool, you had a little bit of an early trade in the early game there, but when you get those items, how do you use them?
Let's see. Good side thing for Chisholm. The kills on LeBlanc. That's what they want.
Yes.
Because if she gets a fed and more kills and more gold, they can actually start looking turn around with a split push pressure and an assassination power. Because remember that Israel dies or Lissandra dies, SBC don't have much potential.
Yeah.
Because Aatrox can just be nullified with the Vladimir and Ramis.
Yeah.
So
I can't tell you the amount of times that I have been against a Fed LeBlanc, and it's like, no, we'll just group up, and then she W's empowered, Alt W, and you just, 3 of you die instantly. It's good fun.
Yep.
However, the Lissandra getting caught, the taunt going down, plus a knock up, the LeBlanc finding another kill, the Aatrox, the Vladimir has finally made his way down into mid. Phoenix Cred surviving there, but a nice knock up by McBurger is not only going to be able to knock the Nunu up, but complete his support item there as Aatrox has wandered down into that, and that is the type of kills that Chisholm wants to see. And at this whole time, if Chisholm don't get caught any further, they might lose a tower here, but Aphelios is just farming free in that bot lane. Waffle Wizard going to be able to try to just negate any type of push there. The minions are cleared. The Aatrox is going to be killing the LeBlanc, but that's the clone. The whole time that happened, a really nice rotate there by Master Knight, and they might be able to grab tower off that, but the entire time that was happening, Aphelios was bot lane free farming. He's currently 20 CS above Ezreal, and even though Ezreal has those 2 kills, Aphelios did have his cull, so more than likely they're at similar gold levels right now.
I feel like I've been criticizing Ultra too much again. That is exactly what you should do with that
Yes.
Ramis. Excellent pick out there on the Lissandra. So if we continue to see that more from Chisholm, we're going to be down for an exciting match out here.
Yeah, the LeBlanc just activating her just insane power, her pressure, her burst damage as well. Luden's being grabbed on Lissandra, and I would expect to see that Luden's be grabbed on the LeBlanc as well very shortly here. And there's just some huge amount of poke damage coming out of Aphelios. Let him farm, and he will do a lot of things bad. The Vladimir being able to disengage with the pull, just running away from all the CC. Nunu tried to hit him with the snowball, just curved it. A nice knock-up coming from McBurger, forcing the Shen to drop the AoE attack negation. However, the Ezreal did fly out to possibly find a kill, but it doesn't find anything as Dragon is up. This would be third Dragon of the game. Master Knight is trying to find a kill onto Waffle Wizard, or at least like punish him as something. Aphelios getting caught out, but that's a really nice Nami ultimate, dropping everyone and pushing them away. That is one ultimate down, however, and Aphelios is a little bit low. We'll see if he does have the lifesteal weapon there. Vladimir is going to try to do something here. He pulls, but I don't know if he's going to be able to be enough there. He sidesteps the Nunu, but you can't sidestep a Shen taunt, my friend. He drops the Aatrox, is able to pick up the second kill of the game. Aphelios has the ult plus the Graviton. It's going to be able to bubble up Master Knight, but that might be the third dragon in the game. And although things might be semi-equal at the moment, SPCC, they have the 3 objectives. They are slowly but surely choking this game out on the side of Chisholm. They are looking like they might, they definitely take that one. Nunu's looking for another gank here down in the bot lane. The Snowball's not going to be able to find anything. The Nami is forced to flash. The Shen ult comes down. Aatrox is going to be able to find another kill onto the Nami there as they try to do whatever they can to stay alive. Aphelios gets caught out by the Shen as LeBlanc just runs away. An Ezreal thrown off to the side there, potentially trying to pick up a kill as Odd Future just runs away. And another great engage there by SPCC. They grab the dragon. Bot lane, Chisholm stayed a little bit too long there.
They just lost so many members. They could just collapse on bots. That probably comes as it's like, what are they doing? They're overextended.
Yeah.
Let's just punish them.
Yeah.
More kills for us.
Definitely shows, it comes into that experience, comes into that teamwork.
Because if it was just a normal team, we'd be like, oh, that's just some people there. That's not fat, then we have numbers at disadvantage or something. They probably wouldn't prepare for that. But the confidence out here probably from game one is like, let's fight them.
Yeah, 100%. It's all about finding those fighting moments there. The Luden's been grabbed on the LeBlanc, so we will see that come through, hopefully, as Lissandra has opted to go for a double Ruby Crystal. So just building a lot more tank. I don't really know what that could go into there, but Master Knight throwing down the chains on to McBurger. He's throwing down a lot of damage. McBurger slowly but surely staying alive as Rammus flashes forward, but the kill is going to be able to pop the Nami there as Master Knight is taking a lot of damage there. Vladimir turns around with one kill, forces Water Hazard to flash, but Vladimir somehow spiked into all of this, picks up another kill. Hey, I'm Purple, this is not the spot you want to be in, my friend, and they just lost a huge advantage, and a triple kill's been handed over to Vladimir on a golden platter.
Quite interesting fly. I think the build up there. Master Knight is just way too overconfident. Does not respect
Waffle
the TV
Wizard might
advantage.
get caught out here, though. The Nunu going down. I assume he does have ult, so he's going to be able to throw that one down. The Chakram coming out. The Nunu ult coming down. Going to be able to find the purchase on to the Aphelios, but the Waffle Wizard finds another kill, making him 4-2-0. And I mean, that is that is definitely not what you want on the side of SPCC.
Especially on that Vlad, because it's really their late game potential. So very good saying for the side of SPCC. Now that you start to see the grievous wounds coming out, try and mitigate Vlad, but Vlad's broken right now. He's fed. He could almost just one-shot the entire SPCC.
Yeah, and when Ezreal was that person, that champion that was like, okay, we've got 2 kills, we'll stack him up. When Vlad comes along and just empowers Qs and just is able to find that huge amount of damage, it doesn't matter how fed you are if you get popped in 2 seconds.
Let's see, however, there's a bit of worry from the Drake fight before. SPC is now on the sole point.
Yeah.
Chisholm's on a timer before that Vlad to scale. However, those kills have alleviated that timer for that pressure because they have a lot more control and are able to hopefully contest with this Drake without just giving up like they have for the past 3 Drakes.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how Chisholm uses that to their advantage. Vladimir staying on the top side of the jungle. He doesn't have teleport up, and Aphelios getting caught out. However, a nice knock-up won't do enough. The Aphelios trying to take down the Ezreal, but SBCC have learnt their mistake from last time and do not leave Aphelios up, as Vladimir might get caught out. However, he is going to be able to get out of the infernal chains there as a ward is thrown down. Dragon is up in a minute, so Aphelios does have enough time to come back into it. And if I was Aphelios, you have your Infinity Edge, you have your Runaan's Hurricane, I would be looking at a flamethrower. I forget the names of them. Infernum, that's it. I know it's a fire. Infernum ult, when they're all grouped. There is so many times where I watch the Infernum
just
ult,
imagine this.
and then it just goes, and then everyone dies.
Imagine the SBC group, that's going to be a Vlad
Vlad
Aphelios,
increased damage. Aphelios, increased damage. If
and then
you group
LeBlanc becomes... That's a scary thought.
Yeah, you have to be very careful, and the pick potential coming out from SPCC with that Shen, with that Lissandra, who has opted just to go, I'm fine just being not a mid laner. Like, I'm fine being a second support. Playing more into that control speciality there as they make their way into the Dragon side. A bot tower, or I think a mid tower actually dropping there as Vladimir finds one, but it won't be enough. We'll see what happens there. The Lissandra just slowly getting out of the way, and the Ezreal ult just taking a lot of damage as Master Knight pops the ult and comes through. McBurger trying to do anything to stay alive as Olive Tree tanks a lot of damage. Odd Future managing to find Water Hazard, but I don't know if it'll be enough. The Nunu finding a huge ult, and it's just turning the entire thing around. At the same time, Vladimir and Aphelios are just devastating the whole team, but Waffle Wizard is going to be able to do it, and unfortunately, the Aphelios was able to pick up a kill. That will be an Ocean Drake for SBCC.
And it's looking dire for Chisholm right now.
And there's no forms of healing mitigation. There's no grievous wounds on the side of Chisholm either. Well, the Aphelios has just picked it up. If the Aphelios had a little bit more damage, if you just had that extra little kick there, being able to stay at the back there and absolutely mow through everyone on the side of SPCC with the Infernum, it would have changed it around.
We would have seen like that massive grouping potential we were just talking before from Chisholm. However, just that tiny bit off. Bit unfortunate, but now it's just done the game around. I would expect SPCC to just snowball through this because Chisholm will almost have nothing because they did not prep for this Ocean so properly. They were like, we could contest this. We probably do not need Grievous. You don't see it coming out Vlad. You only see it coming out from Retro coming out here on the Aphelios. Well, Aphelios is
he does have a lot of AoE potential, and the Runaan's Hurricane allows him to hit multiple targets at once.
Just one on an Ocean Drake. Yeah. It's not going to do well.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely you want at least minimum, if you're versing a team that heals, minimum two. Preferably one AD and one AP. Just for the way that works. But on an Ocean Drake, on an Ocean Drake, it definitely would be more skewing to potentially get a 4. No, not 4-3. So it looks like Mejai's mask will... No, not Mejai's mask. Mask will be grabbed onto Rammus there as Vladimir has to pop the ult defensively. Master Knight also pops the ult and a flash as well. They don't want to get caught out here. Waffle Wizard trying to do his best just to survive here. Popping the Proto Belt, and Aatrox is out for blood. He realized that he made a mistake, and this might be his hubris. However, the LeBlanc managing to negate the Infernal Chains and a max range taunt from Shen coming out. However, a Nami ult is going to be able to stop all of that. The Lissandra is popping down the ult to negate her damage, but a nice 3-man ult, a 3-man knock up coming from the Navi, the bubble pulling everyone up, and a nice little bit of disengage.
All I can say that fight is Ocean Soul.
Yes.
Then wonder what? If the Ocean Soul was that, they would have at least been 50% HP.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's why you need the healing reduction.
Yeah.
They have almost no chance how the world they do. Well, we do see Merlin come from Vlad. Hopefully that could turn the fight around. Good point out there, thank you.
Yeah, no, that was just a recent purchase there. So again, with the Aatrox, with the Death Dance, with his inbuilt healing, and then with the Ocean Soul as well, you need some form of grievous wounds to stop that man from just healing every ounce of damage that he takes. And yeah, if I was Chisholm, I mean, as much as it's going to be very difficult, they need to try to just hold off SPCC whenever they want to try to do something. poke them down just enough, get those grievous wounds going where they can't heal back. Yes, and then realistically, yes. For trading wise, SPCC will come out ahead just due to Ocean Soul and how that works.
I feel like they should just poke a bit, then wait until SPC have blown major cooldowns. That's when the choke of Vladimir and then the Felios coming down. Absolutely nothing. Well,
it's going to be all about that team fight potential.
I feel it's important to use and manage your guns and fight carefully. So
and the Nami getting caught out along with the Vladimir, the pool being dropped, but it doesn't matter. The Nami getting caught out, the Nunu ult being thrown down, but Vladimir has now been found. That is one kill for Ezreal there, as this will most likely be a Baron for SPCC, as Chisholm Marone try to do anything to hold on to the last remaining hopes of life here. Nunu is just going to be able to easily take this away from the side of Chisholm. It would be very surprising if they miss that. Master Knight, however, might get caught out here. The taunt coming down from Rammus, the Felius ult also being thrown down, the Shen ult coming on to the Aatrox to keep him alive, and that it did. He is now out of there alive. Baron is down. It doesn't matter. Nunu was there with his 14 smites, and it's all good. And SPCC now have Baron. They have Ocean Soul. Elder Drake is up in 1 minute 40 seconds. There is not much that can be done now.
Not really. Because what was keeping Chisholm in this game was Clave's inability to siege.
Yeah.
Because they have good siege on that team, however, Chisholm has very good counter siege with the Nami ult, Felios coming in. Because of the AoE, it's insane hard to siege against him. However, with the Baron buff, they can just chill aside. Like, hey, what's up to the tower? You can't even damage me.
Yeah.
So it's quite hard for Chisholm. They're going to find it a lot much harder to try and defend against Clave's siege. Hopefully, let's see if Clave can close the game out, or Chisholm, with insane team fighting skills, could call this game right back and we can go to a game 3.
Yeah, Abyssal Mask grabbed on the Rammus, and Essence Reaver finally been built onto that Ezreal there. The Shen as well has opted to go for a redemption. Interesting item. I would have preferred to see a Knight's Vow, especially when you have someone squishy like the Ezreal against those assassins. Maybe that would have been a better pick, but I mean, he is 108, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. As they do the Death Brush strategy again, Rammus might fall to it. He has been hit by the Abyssal Chains. The Nami ult does come down, but it's not enough. Phoenix Cred picking up another kill as Aatrox throws his ult down. Those wings sprouting from his back as Aphelios just hits a couple times, and Nunu rolling the snowball manages to hit the Nami and the Aphelios under tower, as Phoenix Cred is just so tanky with the Ocean Drake there, able to stay alive. He doesn't care about towers. All he wants is blood.
Well, Aatrox, if this might be a bit all I say, but wings of victory coming off of the Aatrox saying, I'm confident to fight you guys. Let's see if we win this or not. Yes. I'm going to end you guys. Let's see. And let's close out as we take out the Elder. Chisholm always have no team fighting potential. They can just burst because 75% HP, once he goes there, they're gone. Yeah. It makes it so much harder to come back for Chisholm right now. No major objectives. Baron and Elder in the hands of SPC now.
However, I will say that this is probably one of the longest matches SPCC has been a part of. Usually, they can close these games out in 20...
I feel like it's just because of the way they're drafted.
Yeah.
Because it was like, let's respect Chisholm a little bit. They said, let's go, especially with the substitute of him and Purplewood, they want to go for late game. So that might be well. That's winning condition, because they barely played aggressive early game. So, see that they're trying to close the game out now.
Yeah. Looking like they can, as Chisholm is forced to go back into their base. We'll see what last items can potentially be bought there. I mean, really nice push there. No, Baron is no longer up, but they don't need it. They have Elder Drake. You don't want to get into, you don't want to get even close to them. That Elder Drake will knock you all down. However, there's a huge fight happening right now. Master Knight finds a kill onto Rammus as the Aphelios ult comes down. He's going to be able to throw down the stun, but the Chakram ability isn't going to be able to heal him too much there. As Lissandra might get caught out by a turret. Vladimir finds a kill there. Can he do anything more? It doesn't matter. The Elder Drake manages to find the execute there, and I believe that is the game for SPCC. They have come come back after a defeat last year to win the game out this time. I believe completely winning every single game. They haven't lost one. The Aatrox might die. No, there we go. Master Knight is known for those last-minute deaths, I'd say, as they slowly take down the tower there. The Ezreal coming down, hitting the Rammus, and I mean, that is a game over to SPCC. Congratulations to SPCC. They are the winners of this year's Chisholm Invitational, and you know what they get? They get the satisfaction. They get the trophy. They also get the Lenovo gear.
Yep.
I mean,
Everyone
I would
would be jealous.
Yeah, I would be happy with a new keyboard, a new headset. You'd be like, hey, mom and dad, you can get something from playing video games. Let me play video games more. Oh, but a brilliant match there. Definitely was like almost neck and neck for the very early game. Just a few minor missteps, but SPCC managed to take that one in the very end there. I mean, just it's been entirely great. Do you have any closing statements?
Well, I think the tournament overall has been a great experience, and love to do this again. Great, insight. It was promoting everything, and I hope Chisholm comes back again next year. Strong power. You guys can come back from this.
Hey, look, like the Mighty Ducks movie, all right, you have to give the villains a win to come back in the third year. It makes that victory oh so much sweeter, and I mean, I'm sure that's what SPCC are feeling as
So
well.
after last year, it was like, oh.
Exactly. So they're out for a vengeance. And I mean, thank you so much for those watching at home. Thank you so much for watching and listening to the Chisholm Invitational. This has been Nightwatch. I have been Chuai. Again, a huge thanks to Lenovo and everyone here at Chisholm for hosting this event. Please go have some water, have some food, stay 1.5 away, wash your hands, and we will see you next year.